What if I told you I didn't hit record again? How pissed off would you be?
I would be real mad right now, actually.
Okay.
I'd be like, this is like take like 8 now. Come on, take 8.
Okay, this time I hit record.
Okay, that's good. I assume so because you just like to start every podcast with something like that, and so I was assuming you were going. That's why I played along.
But seriously though, can we start over?
No, let's keep going. You're not allowed to start over now. This is the intro to the CLG Faithful podcast.
Man, we're so good at this.
We are.
Right.
We are pros. We're pros.
Yeah, so I'm your host, Nefarious, and you just heard my co-host, Archon. We do
What's
the
up,
rundown
guys?
of all things CLG every single week, and this is episode 60. So last week we did a 2-for-1 special, which we did our normal weekly stuff, and that was episode 58. And then episode 59 was an interview we did with Captain Jack. That's our second interview that we've done. First one was with CLG's video editor, Ricky. He did a lot of the CSGO content. Captain Jack...
Rip CLG. Or CSGO. Yeah. Rip both, really.
Both. Captain Jack does a lot of the League of Legends content, including the CLG fighting series that you see come out every single week. Episode 6 was just released.
Yeah.
So go ahead and check that out. And we hope to be doing a lot more interviews pretty soon. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. It seems like the org actually loves us maybe a little bit. I don't know.
They don't
might be getting
hate us, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Should we start off with some League of Legends news?
You do it, because I'm
okay. No, it's fine. It's fine. So they scrapped the entire roster. Hu He's out, Darshan's out, everyone's gone. They're gonna find new people. I'm just kidding. I was reading the CLG subreddit, and it's a fucking shitload of cancer. So stop. FREESM, ladies and gentlemen, the first time ever TSM has not made it to the finals. Fuck you, TSM. You got beat by a brand new team.
Dude, they got beat by Clutch Gaming.
Clutch Gaming.
Like, I still look at Clutch Gaming and think, how are they a semi-finalist team? Like
I don't think anyone, truthfully,
I don't get it.
Even like gave them a shot at being in the top 4.
No,
like,
no one did.
I think everyone looked at that roster and was like, it's a solid roster. Like, you know, these guys are all
it's playoff
good
bound,
League of Legends players, but to get to be in the top 4 and go to Miami this year, like, yeah, that's
they took out TSM.
Yeah, and to take out TSM 3-1. 3-1 wasn't even a 3-2, it was 3-1. I tuned in to game 2 and I think they were down a little bit, and I was like, oh, TSM's winning. Like, what a surprise. And then I just turned it off because I was like, I don't care. And then I see on our League of Legends subreddit on Hot, it's got like it's at the top of my Reddit page. So that's generally means that something weird happened in that game. When an our League of Legends post about Clutch Gaming TSM is at the very top and it has no upvote total. So it's like it's got that like up, down, and then like the center is just a dot.
That's the one where it reaches the front page in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, ooh, something big must have happened here. And I click on it and I see 3-1 Clutch Gaming, and I couldn't believe it. I ended up going back and watching that last game, and holy crap, TSM was tilted. Holy crap.
So in our celebration thread, I posted a little GIF. Did you see that one?
I didn't see that, but I will say about that thread, Hotshot GG posted in that thread, and he said that he came to the RCLG subreddit first and was very happy that he did.
That's what I did.
I was like, nice.
I just sent you the image.
Okay. Oh god, the one of the TSM kid? Like, what the fuck? I'm fully decked out in TSM gear. It looks like he just bought it all too. He's probably a bandwagon kid. Oh,
there's something I could say. I'm not going to. I'm not going to say that.
Okay. Well, that's all the League of Legends news, obviously, and we didn't make it to playoffs. So
Yeah.
that's that.
So I just want to say, so every time I always see some people say like, oh well, why are we celebrating TSM losing? Why do we care? We didn't make playoffs, or we didn't do as well as them in Worlds, or whatever. However, we haven't beaten them. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
It's a fucking rival. It's a fucking rivalry, and if you're a rival, you celebrate any and all losses that your opponent has.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's just like you laugh super hard at them for it.
And this is not a friendly, banterish rivalry, right?
Oh God, no! Some of their fans are just absolute cancer.
This is a fuck you. I want you to lose and get relegated rivalry.
Yeah, that's the kind of rivalry that this is. 100%.
Well, they can't get relegated, so I'd settle for last place every split. Until then. No, that's just the nature of rivalries. It doesn't matter how good or bad you are. You celebrate their losses. It really doesn't.
You celebrate their losses. So there's nothing CSGO.Red related, as far as I know.
Nope.
We can just get right into Smash. It was actually a pretty good Smash day, or a Smash weekend.
Oh, one thing. So, me and the other mods are gonna try to get a new flare up on the sub, and we're gonna try to do something with FREESM and something with Thresh. We can do it. we're gonna try.
I mean, it's like they didn't even learn. There's 2 games in a row with fucking kick your asses, Thresh. Come on. Oh man. Either way. That sounds great. So we'll hop right into Smash. We got some both Melee and Smash 4. It was mostly Melee though, because Pew Pew You and SFAT together again. It has been a little while since we've seen PewFat and in full bloom, where they went to Full Bloom 4. Wow, that I didn't even think about the event name there when I said in full bloom. Anyways, this is an annual tournament in Bloomingdale, Indiana. And let's just start off on the doubles. So PewFat is back. Yes.
I'm going to take a guess. They won first.
Well, you're going to find out.
It's PewFat.
It's PewFat.
Right, tell me.
I mean, it's
tell
PewFat in doubles. They started their doubles run by
first.
crushing Labe and Exposed 2-0. And then their usual form. They also beat Millhouse, Absent Page, and Captain Faceroll and Zamu 2-0. They took their first round loss, though, versus Crush and Ryan Ford, but in the end beat them 3-1. Into the winners' finals they go, where they faced off against S2J and Shroom. Those guys can usually give SFAT and Pew Pew You a run for their money, but not this time. They got beat 3-1. This means our boys make it into the grand finals. And who do they meet in the grand finals? Freaking Hungry Box and Chew Dat. I mean, Hungry Box is like
duo.
Yeah,
That's
Hungry Box is like the Achilles heel of SFAT. I don't know what it is, but SFAT just like has the hardest time playing against Hungry Box. And I mean, they give SFAT people tons of trouble in the past. And unfortunately, this showed in the first round of the grand finals because Chewbox, that's what I call them, Chewbox, beat PewFat 3-2. This means, though, that we move into the second round of the grand finals because PewFat was coming from the winner's sides. They needed to lose twice. And oh boy, was this a battle for the ages. It was an insane match, and in the end, PewFat emerged victorious 3-2. That means that our boys take first place at Full Bloom 4, and it was quite the show.
Hell yeah.
Hells yeah. I mean, that's nothing better than, PewFat back in action, and they get first place at a nice big event like this. That's awesome. So moving to singles then. Yeah. We got Pew Pew You up first. He started his pools off pretty well. He beat Nooch, Nala, Kaon, and Lucky all 2-0. This starts him off in the winner's bracket where he faces off against AMSA, unfortunately. AMSA gives him a really hard time, and Pew Pew You does go down to the Yoshi main 3-0. Into the loser's bracket to make a great run, though. He found Swedish. He decided to get some vengeance and beat him down 3-1. Next, it came up against Duck. Man, this Samus player is just ridiculous. I think anytime Pew Pew U or SFAT runs into this guy in the losers bracket, it's just like, ugh, man. I don't know what it is about this guy. He does end up beating Pew Pew U 3-0 in the losers bracket, meaning Pew Pew U finishes in 13th place. Maybe something where the boys can work a little bit harder on, playing against Samus. I don't know how many. There's not a lot of Samus mains out there. As far as I know of, probably the top 20. Duck is probably the only one, but I have no idea. Whew. We'll edit that out.
No, we won't.
Okay, so that means Pew Pew U finishes 13th place. Next up was SFAT. He started out his pools amazingly. He beats Cump and Math both 2-0. Millhouse manages to take a game off him though, but SFAT won 2-1. He found Rishi in his pool finals though, who he beat down 2-0. Straight out of pools, he finds Zane in the winners round 1, who actually beat SFAT 3-0. So this means that SFAT's going to have to make a crazy losers run, just like Pew Pew U should have.
Zane's the guy who beat SFAT last year too, right? The big tournament.
Yeah, I do remember Zane taking him out. So SFAT, maybe you just got to look at these guys and work a little harder. No, I'm kidding, man. You're awesome. So that means he's going to make a crazy
really,
run. And the first part of his Trail of Destruction was KJH, who dropped SFAT 3-0. What's that?
I'm just saying, man.
Saying what?
He lost again.
I know. But he didn't lose in the losers bracket because up against him was Shroomed next, and Shroom fell to SFAT 3-1. Hugs was his losers round 5 opponent, and Hugs actually fell to SFAT 3-1. Hugs is one of those other players that really does give SFAT a hard time sometimes. Not this time. S2J was a big name to fall into the losers bracket, and SFAT knocked the Captain Falcon main out 3-2. This means that he comes into the losers quarters, and good lord, can you believe Mango, of all people, is in the losers quarters?
Do you know who he's up against that knocked him out?
Leffen.
Okay. Well, okay.
So I was looking at the bracket at this point, and I'm looking because this is basically losers quarters was the start of their second day, that was gonna the winners quarters or something like that was gonna be the start of the day, and that was I looked at it and I looked at the bracket and I was like, Left and Mango, I was like, oh, that's going to be a good game. And then I happened to look down and I was like, who the loser of that, who goes down to losers? And I see SFAT there and I find the bracket and I go for him I'm like, oh, damn. I was like, SFAT basically, he's either coming up against one of the best players in Melee, or the second best player in Melee, right? One of the gods of Melee are going to be falling from grace into the losers bracket, and SFAT is going to be playing them.
I think I'd rather face Mango than Leffen.
I mean, truthfully, I would, but at the same time, I'd also just like to see SFAT beat TSM so that TSM loses twice in a week.
It's true.
Yeah, that's what I would have liked to see. Either way, Mango does beat him 3-2.
But that's why I said I'd rather see SFAT go up against Mango, because I think SFAT has a better chance against Mango.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's a Falco or a Fox, right? It's either a mirror match Fox or it's Falco.
It's mostly just the SFAT versus Leffen itself, right? Because
I'd like to
something
see
about that guy.
finals.
Something about the guy's got SFAT's number.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. He's just really good. Either way, SFAT does fall 3-2, but man, he almost made the comeback. He almost made the comeback in that game to beat Mango. Unfortunately, Mango does get the upper hand. And that means SFAT finishes in fifth place, which is pretty darn good. Especially for an event with so many people.
I like how you wrote losers quaters.
I did lose Quaders. See, I was actually like, when I was doing that, I was like in the back in my chair, like just kind of like half asleep. And I was in a weird position on my keyboard. I was making lots of typing mistakes because I was like, my hands are in really weird spots. And I thought I did pretty good, on 4 on net tatly. There we go.
It's all right.
Anyways, that means that SFAT does finish in 5th place, which is a pretty good showing. I mean, considering it's SFAT and he's at a pretty big event that had the names of like Mango and Leffen in them. That's a pretty good finish.
Yeah. So we did have some Smash 4.
Yeah. So Smash 4, Void was in attendance for singles at the Smash Masters League in Las Vegas. So this is actually in California. There's a big thing, especially I believe it's in SoCal. There's a thing called the Esports Arena. You guys have probably heard of it if you follow Smash at all. It's a pretty big thing. It's a pretty big arena that's basically set up for esports, and they actually have expanded into Las Vegas, which is pretty cool. Like that means like esports is kind of becoming legit.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah, like if when esports starts to expand into Vegas, like that means Vegas wants a cut of that gambling money. Oh yeah. So into his pools, he crushed Coco and Cardi, both 2-0. Best Ness was the first person to take a game off Void, but inevitably fall to Void, beating the obvious Ness main 2-1. Into the winners round 1, he went facing off against Unexpected Fatality. So he was expected to fight Fatality. SFAT, I wrote SFAT for that one, weird. Void beat the Captain Falcon main 3-2. And then Bayonetta's. Bayonetta's
hey,
like...
Melee's got Fox. Smash 4 is Bayonetta.
Yeah, like Bayonetta is basically... But Bayonetta isn't... There's like almost no counter people feel to Bayonetta. Like... Bayonetta is just OP. Fox is top tier, 100%, but Fox is beatable.
Sure, Bayonetta, if you're playing Fox.
Yeah, Bayonetta is just like,
It's kind of like Meta Knight was in Brawl in that.
Yeah,
doesn't really have any bad matchups.
No,
just has matchups that are slightly less in his, or in this case, her favor.
Yeah, so that's one of the big talking issues in Smash 4 right now is, do they ban Bayonetta from competitive play? And so far, that's not happened. Now, in the Brawl community, they banned Meta Knight almost instantaneously, if not instantaneously. Like, I don't think Meta Knight really ever got into the competitive scene of Brawl. Though, to be fair, Brawl never really went anywhere.
So he was there for a while, and then... The case for banning him, I think it was up to the TOs. So they were the ones that got the final say as to who to ban him. And yeah. I want to say it was a regional thing, but I can't quite remember. I honestly don't remember. It was a while ago.
Yeah. Huh. I have no idea.
At any rate, he was banned at some tournaments for a while, and then you started to see... a bit more diversity for it, and then after a while he was unbanned, if I recall correctly. You started to see a bunch of people rise up, if only because they would have what people thought was a potentially decent matchup against Meta Knight. I remember Snake being up there for a while.
Yeah.
Diddy Kong was super annoying. He was up there for a bit. Diddy Kong was also... People got good at playing him.
Yep.
And the bananas were super annoying. Oh,
God. Right.
I honestly can't remember, though.
No, it's been a while. Like it's almost 7 years or longer, I think, actually. But, yeah. So, the first Bayonetta was Mistake and beat Void 3-2. Then came Captain Zack. Void had a good run here, but in the end, falls to the second Bayonetta in a row. 3-2. That means that Void does finish in 9th place overall. Not a bad start or finish for him. Top 8 finish would have been really nice to see for Void, especially in kind of like a big event like, the opening tournament of Esports Arena. But hey, good run, bud. Good run. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. It is a good run. Just like you said, that at least
Yeah.
top 8 finish is what you're looking for at the very least.
Yeah.
Still, Smash on the Switch, and looks like it's going to be a new game. I am excited
absolutely. For that. I think I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be a new game at this point. Like, Nintendo hasn't really done anything with Smash 4 in a couple of years now, I want to say.
They did announce Smash at E3.
Yeah.
Their Smash... Crap, I want to say tournament, but...
Yeah, for
Yeah. That should be a lot of fun.
That'll be cool. I'd like to see where that goes.
Mm-hmm. So, H1Z1.
Yeah.
That actually doesn't start till April 21st. But fun. CLG should be a member of the H1Z1 Pro League or H1PL. I don't like how they call it the H1PL because every time I see the PL, I think Premier League. And it's like the H1 Premier League. No, it's not that.
No.
Rainbow Six. Do you want to tell? So, the CLG Rainbow Six team is in the Rainbow Six Pro League, of course.
Okay.
So why don't you tell us how the thing works? Right? What are the rules for it, and then we can go into the matches.
Sure. So it is. There's a group stage, which is a double elimination bracket, and the top 2 teams advance in playoffs. They are all best of 3 matches. Playoffs, though, are a single elimination bracket, as one would expect, and they are played as best of 3 matches as well.
Should have mentioned this is a major. But
this is a major. Okay, cool. So they're kind of following a very similar route to like CS:GO, where there'll be minor events and major events. Nice, that's good because those are always a big hit. You know, like you'll have a bunch of minors. Some teams that win the minors get spots in the majors, and then other teams are invited to compete for the majors, and it's just like a huge event that happens like once or twice a year, and it's like awesome.
Right. So for this, the prize pool is $27,000 US dollars.
That's not bad.
The participants are CLG, Extra Eternity, EG, so Evil Geniuses, Rogue, Mouse Esports. I guess they're just Mouse Sports now. It's still Mouse Esports. Space Station Gaming.
It's Mouse without an E at the end, like Moose Esports.
No, it is there at the end. That's why I got thrown.
Okay.
I feel like I should know that. Whatever. Not important. Who cares? There's some no-name team.
Yeah.
Space Station Gaming, Ronin Esports, and SK Gaming. So, the CLG team was... they were actually the former Elevate roster, and that was acquired by CLG. And now they're currently in the tournament. So, the first set of matches they played last week on March 19th. That was up against Rogue, and they are in Group B.
That was happening as we recorded this.
Yes. They actually lost that match, both rounds. They lost 5-3 on Bank, and then 5-1 on Cafe... I can't pronounce it. Whatever the Russian name is.
Dostoyevsky.
Right.
That's
so that means that they are currently sitting at the bottom of their group. So in first place right now, along with Rogue, is SK Gaming, then Mouse Esports, and Counterlogic Gaming. So the way this works is that the rounds are actually important because Rogue got 5 and 5. Their total score is 10-4 because CLG took 4 rounds off of them. CLG on the other hand is inverted, so now they have 4-10. So they have a score of -6, whereas Rogue has a score of +6.
And that'll all come into who hits first, or like if it comes down to we're tied for first or tied for second or whatever, the round differential will be the tiebreaker there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So SK is currently, I guess, in second place then, and they beat Mouse. So the good news is there's still 5 more games because it's double round robin. So there's plenty of matches for them to go and shake up the standings.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So on April 2nd is the next match. they play up against Mouse, and that is going to be 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Should be a good game, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
should be fun.
I know literally nothing about Rainbow Six Siege, but the little bit that I've watched, I think it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's actually pretty fun to watch. I mean, it's not quite CS:GO. It's different. It's a different game, but it's still very enjoyable, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, why don't you tell us about Smite then?
All right. So Smite we're in the Smite Pro League. So that is 6 teams all acquiring a spot in the 2018 season of it. After the Smite World Championship 2018, all rosters became free agents. So that was like a free agent period for teams to sign up, and they had to be signed up by March 1st. And it was shortly after that CLG announced that they had acquired them. But I think there was all kinds of those rumors earlier in the year, or late in 2017 and early 2018, where they're like, look at this, like all these rosters are free agents, blah, blah, blah. Look at these teams.
So CLG was actually the last team to quote-unquote qualify. Splice, Space Station Gaming, Trifecta, E-United, Luminosity Gaming, they were all before us, and then CLG was actually quite a bit later.
Huh. So the spring split will be 6 weeks of playing, Wednesdays and Fridays. It's a double round robin. Each match is best of 3, and the top 2 teams qualify for the Smite Masters 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well,
go ahead.
So this one, they played in week 1 on patch 5.4, and Achilles was disabled. He's the newest god.
So that just sounds extremely similar to League of Legends. First couple weeks that a champion comes out, not allowed to be played because it's probably OP as fuck.
Mm-hmm. He was released on Feb 27th, so pretty recently.
Pretty recent, yeah.
So tell us about our first match.
Sure. So CLG played Splice Gaming. You guys might remember Splice from League of Legends last year. And they won
ULCS?
2-1. Yeah. Wait, is Splice still over there?
Yeah, so Splice use... Now I'm thinking... So, okay. At least in League, Dignitas used to have 2 rosters. So Dignitas is actually an EU organization. They had an NA roster, and then they had Dig EU. Now, Dig EU, when they got promoted, they had to decide between having their NA team or their EU team. They decided to keep their NA team, and their EU team was sold to Splice. Now, Splice, if I recall correctly, is owned by the Miami Heat. I want to say that's correct.
Okay.
But I can't quite remember.
Right on. Either way. Next game...
Well, that would just actually make them an NA org. But they have an EU LCS. It's interesting how all that works.
Yeah. The next game, which looks like it was played right afterwards, was CLG versus Trifecta Gaming. And CLG won 2-1.
Yep. So that means we are top of the league.
Yeah, 2 O's, baby. 2 O's. That's good to know.
So that's a very solid start.
That's a good, solid start for CLG. Hopefully they keep it up. I mean, we played 2 games on the first week, so that means we only play 1 game in the second week, which means, other teams have a chance of kind of, if we win next week against Space, if we go 3-0, that means that someone like LG might be able to come back and get their 2-game wins against the teams, or even like Space might beat LG, stuff like that.
That should be it. If we beat Space Gaming, then LG is the only one that could potentially get another 3-0 start.
Well, Space actually plays 4 games, so they could be a 3-1, which I don't know how that would work on the standings.
They just take the top place until all the matches are played, anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a disclaimer about matches played.
Yeah, awesome. So why don't we move into some Rocket League then? Why don't you give us a rundown on that?
Right. So last week, COG played against EG, and they lost 3-2 in the Rocket League Championship Series. And just like all the others, because we're going over this for the first first time in detail, we're going to explain what the tournament is and what the rules are. So this is played in the group stage from March 17th to April 14th, and it's a round-robin best-of-5. Now, in the case of tiebreakers, the game win percentage always seeds the team. So the top 2 teams automatically qualify for the finals. The top 6 teams qualify for the regional championship, and the bottom 2 teams are relegated to the promotion playoffs. Now, the regional championship is going to start on April 21st, and the teams in the regional championship automatically qualify for season 6, and the top 4 teams in the championship qualify for finals. So as we get more into that, we'll explain it again and go over all that again. So all you really need to know right now is that, unfortunately, we played against EG and lost to them 3-2. Now, in week 2, we played up against NRG. So we started off on DFH Stadium, and we won that with 1-0. Next, however, we moved into Utopia Coliseum. We lost that 2-0. And they just continued to clean sweep us from there, in which we lost 3-0 on Mansfield at night and Neo Tokyo. Then, later on in the same day, we played up against Rogue, and this one, we started off in 4-3 at DFH Stadium, goes into overtime, but we pick up the win. Then, somewhat similar thing happened, where we just ended up collapsing. Actually, we didn't quite collapse. We actually made it competitive, but we unfortunately lost the remaining rounds. So Utopia Coliseum was lost 4-2. Then Mansfield Night in OT, Rogue managed to pick up the win. And then Neo Tokyo, again, Rogue picks up the win 3-2, but again in overtime.
That's not too bad. So at least they kind of like came back in the last 2 games, and took it to overtime. Unfortunately, they didn't win anything. They didn't win the games. But,
but the fact that it goes to overtime tells you that it was pretty close.
It was a very close games.
Unfortunately, against NRG, that was the one where it was shut out.
Yeah.
So next week, there are no matches. That means next week is week 3. We resume playing it up again in week 4 on April 7th against Out of Style and Ghost. Following that, we play up against Cloud9 and G2 Esports.
Ooh, G2.
Yeah, so all of these teams we need to beat. So we definitely need to beat Out of Style. We definitely need to beat Ghost because those are the other 2 teams that are near the bottom of the standings. Same thing with G2, who right now is in the middle of the pack. We can definitely beat them. We need to beat them.
We pretty much do. Like, I mean, at this point, we're down 0-3. Kind of need to just like win everything.
Right. So you definitely don't want to go into 7th and 8th position at the worst, because that's the promotion playoffs. Yeah. You, at the very least, want to get 5th, 6th, because that will put you into the next season. But ideally, you want to start qualifying for the championship. So
yeah. Ideally.
Yep.
All right.
So I think that's all.
I think so. Yeah.
Quite a bit.
I want to plug the CLG Discord right now because it's been a pretty crazy stuff. If you check out the community events sub channel, it is the last 2 weeks. Well, the last 3 weeks. So there was last weekend. There was Summoner's Rift 5v5 teams for the CLG Discord event, where basically you could like make a pre-made 5v5 team, and we did like a whole bracket for it. I got to cast all of those games. So much fun. Highly recommend you guys, if you are big into League of Legends and you just want to come have some fun. It's a fantastic time. And then the one before that was an ARAM, and that was insanely fun to play in, because especially the ARAMs, because it's like, it really all comes down to luck, in the luck of the draw for ARAMs plus some player skill. But super fun. Always someone casting the games for the most part, and just overall fun. So you should check out the CLG Discord and hop in there and check out the community events page.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I won't be able to join this one either.
You suck. I kid. You're all right.
Okay.
I think the one coming up, they're actually thinking about doing a CS:GO one for this week.
Oh, in that case, I should totally join. I can pull.
Yeah.
You want to see how fast a person can drag a team down?
You're not on my team.
I'm going to be on your team.
No. You can join. Ron's team. Drag his team down.
I'm going to be at another game. So.
Yes. All right. Well, I think that's everything then, eh?
I think it is. Yeah. We'll definitely be back next week with all things CLG.
You guys got it. Thank you very much for listening to the CLG Faithful podcast. We are an unofficial podcast that we do every week here. If you like what we are doing, please take a moment to like us on YouTube or whatever it's called on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Give us a rating on iTunes or Google Play. Or you can hit that like button as well on SoundCloud. Do people actually use SoundCloud still? Anyways, you can also send us any comments or criticism.
We get a solid amount of listeners every single week on SoundCloud. It's the same number.
There's one person every week that likes our video, our SoundCloud thing. So thank you very much for that. If you're listening and hear this,
I'm convinced it's a bot.
Thank you very, very much. They actually, I looked at their profile, and they only follow a couple of League of Legends podcasts, and one of those other ones includes The Drive. So they must just the dive. Sorry, the dive. They listen to The Dive, and they listen to us. Thank you. You must be an awesome CLG fan.
In that case, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, right? I mean, that's pretty awesome. And if you have any comments or criticism, you can send them to us at clgfaithful@gmail.com. You know, we like to, as long as it's positive, feedback or, like, hey, you should do this or you should do that. We'll get back to you. Thank you guys very much for listening. I am Artrin.
I'm Nefarious.
Peace.
See ya.